let's dive right into this explainer on the rapid, world-changing evolution of text-to-image technology. Because if you've been paying any attention to the digital art space lately, you know we're living through an absolute renaissance. Today, we're going to unpack exactly how we got here, peek under the hood at how the tech actually works, and figure out what all of this means for human creativity. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll kick things off with the AI art revolution, look at how AI generates art, compare the big three tools, explore modern creative workflows, and then finish up with something called the creativity paradox. Let's get to it. Section 1. The AI art revolution, from pixels to masters. You know, it really feels like AI art just appeared out of thin air overnight. But how did we actually make that massive leap? How do you go from tiny, completely unrecognizable blobs to high-end photorealistic masterpieces so fast? Well, to understand that, we need to look at the timeline. The breakneck speed of innovation here is honestly staggering. Back in 2015, researchers at the University of Toronto gave us a line draw. It was a big deal because it didn't just memorize data. You could give it a prompt like a stop sign is flying in blue skies, and it would actually try to draw it. But the output was tiny, literally just blurry 32 by 32 pixel grids. Then, in 2016, we saw the transition to GANs, or generative adversarial networks. Now, these were better. They could make plausible images of very specific things, like a bird or a flower, but they totally fell apart on complex scenes. The real earthquake, the game changer, hit in the 2020s. OpenAI dropped DALL-E in 2021 using a powerful transformer system, and then in 2022, Stable Diffusion brought this tech to the masses by introducing latent diffusion models. Which brings us to Section 2, how AI generates art using latent diffusion models. Okay, so the absolute crucial point to grasp here is this concept of a latent diffusion model. This was the massive breakthrough that finally replaced that older GAN technology. Instead of trying to spit out a full, high-res image pixel by pixel right from the start, these models use diffusion. Imagine looking at a screen full of TV static. Slowly, step by step, the AI removes that static, or what we call noise, until a perfectly clear picture emerges. But doing that math on raw pixels is way too heavy for computers. That is where the latent part comes in to save the day. The magic really clicks when we break the process down into 3 steps. Step 1, your text prompt gets translated into a mathematical embedding that the AI can actually understand. Step 2, the diffusion process. That static removal we just talked about happens, but it happens inside a highly compressed mathematical latent space. So it's not working on visible pixels yet at all. It's just crunching the underlying data. And finally, step 3, a component called an autoencoder takes that finished compressed data and translates it back into the high-resolution pixels that your eyes can actually see. If that sounds a bit too technical, let's make it super simple. Just think of the latent space as a giant, compressed zip file full of visual concepts. When you download a massive video game, it comes compressed to save time and space, right? The AI does the exact same thing. It does all the really hard computational work inside that compressed zip file space, and then the autoencoder meticulously unpacks it into the beautiful, pixel-perfect image on your screen. Moving right along to Section 3, the big 3 tools, Midjourney, Flux, and DALL-E. Now, it is fascinating to see how the big 3 heavyweight contenders serve distinctly different needs. Midjourney V7 is the undisputed king of cinematic drama and pure aesthetics. Flux.1, on the other hand, is the new industry standard for precision and typography. And then you have DALL-E 3, which is built right into Microsoft Designer and Copilot, making it absolutely the easiest to use for casual or office workflows. Choosing your tool really comes down to your specific use case. Midjourney gives you that breathtaking National Geographic-style golden hour lighting. But honestly, it can be a bit of a prompt and pray situation because it loves to take artistic liberties. On the flip side, Flux.1 is like a precision scalpel. If you need to generate a specific infographic, or say a neon sign with perfect spelling, Flux.1 is going to give you 99% typography accuracy. It follows your structural instructions flawlessly, which is exactly why developers love it. But the ecosystem goes way beyond just the big 3, with specialized tools stepping up to fill unique gaps. For example, Grok Imagine leverages FLU Flux.1, but runs with very minimal content filtering. That opens the door for unconstrained, edgy creative projects or political cartoons that other platforms would just instantly block. Then there's Nano Banana Pro. It's built straight into the CapCut video editor, guaranteeing accurate infographics without you ever having to leave your timeline. And we definitely can't forget Stable Diffusion, which is still the absolute powerhouse for users who want to run open source models completely locally on their own hardware.
All right, Section 4, Modern Creative Workflows and Automating Generation.
The days of copy-paste hell are literally over. Think about a developer who used to spend 10 agonizing minutes jumping between ChatGPT for text, DALL-E for images, and 11 Labs for audio, all just to make one single language learning flashcard. Today, by using APIs and some clever prompt engineering, they can connect those foundation models together to fully automate the process. What used to take 10 minutes of struggling is now a 10-second automated miracle. And if you want the absolute highest quality possible, professional design agencies are now using a very specific 3-step hybrid pipeline. Step 1. They fire up Midjourney to establish the master concept and nail that cinematic vibe. Step 2. They take that beautiful image and use Flux One's in-painting feature to precisely overlay perfect typography or fix something like a weird-looking hand. Step 3. They run that combined image through an AI upscaler to add gorgeous microtexture. So you're literally grabbing the aesthetic beauty of Midjourney and fixing the fine details with the surgical precision of Flux. It's brilliant. Section 5. The Creativity Paradox: Confidence versus Output. So what does relying on these powerful automated tools actually do to our brains? Well, we have some incredible data from a recent study of 61 university design students in southern China. The researchers pitted traditional handmade design methods using software like Adobe against AI generation using tools like Midjourney and DALL-E. They wanted to track exactly how AI impacts a student's critical thinking and their final creative output. And get this, the results perfectly illustrate a huge paradox. The students reported that their confidence in their own critical thinking skills actually dropped when they used AI. They felt like the machine was doing all the heavy lifting for them. Yet, when expert, completely blind reviewers evaluated the actual posters, they rated the AI-assisted designs significantly higher. So the students felt less cognitively engaged, but their objective creative performance absolutely soared. I absolutely love this quote from one of the students in the focus group because it completely reframes the experience. At first, they worry the art wasn't really theirs, but they quickly realize that overcoming the fear of the blank canvas actually shifts human creativity. It moves it away from the physical act of drafting and turns it into the mental act of critical curation. Knowing which prompts to use and choosing which generated image best fits your goal, that is the new form of critical thinking. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a pretty provocative thought to chew on. If these latent diffusion models are now handling the pixels perfectly, is your true creative genius simply found in how well you manage, curate, and guide the machine? It is a fascinating, wild, new frontier for human expression. Keep experimenting, and I'll catch you next time.